Welcome back into European Masters. We gotta break down that last game really quick before we hop into Schalke 04 Evolution and Movistar Riders. Looking at that one, Trouble, what do you think was the problem for Kick that made it so they ended up having that loss?
JaVaaa is just too good. If you saw this guy, we talked about him playing an immobile champion. It was a very mobile bot lane in general. And sure, you might have the Leona to lock them down. And yes, they have the Black Shield. But one of these stuns is bound to land. I don't think they played enough around snowballing that misfortune lane. Because the other lanes were more about scaling, I would say. You have the Corking going for the Mana Moon. So you're expecting to fight 30 and 40 minutes even into the game. Top lane is kind of like a tank fest, so you forget about that and you play through your win conditions, and a lot of teams seem to forget that. And it's not like there was pressure on any of the two teams, because I felt like they were both doing whatever they wanted in the game.
As we jump into Champions Select, we do have to make note that Lurox is stepping in for Gilius. Gilius had not the easiest game against Team Singularity, so it does seem that Schalke have decided to change up their strategy, feeling confident with this early game jungler and having a little bit different strategies they can now employ against Movistar, who've been trying to scale for the late game.
I'm already doing my Pepe D dance because I saw that Graves has been banned out of the game, and I'm very happy about it. But yes, I'm so excited to see Lurox coming in, very strong voice in the team, and of course playing the very aggressive champions, so you know, the Lee Sins, the rhuckz is coming in, the Gragas is playing the aggressive Jarvans. So I would like to see a little bit of proactivity coming into this game. This is the game for the first seed right here, right now. The team, I think at least, that wins this game, they have guaranteed themselves in the quarterfinals.
From my understanding, that is the case as well. I know it would be for sure for Mov, if they are able to beat Schalke 04 right here, they will be guaranteed into the quarterfinals. I don't know if it's the same for Schalke though. It might be, because they go up to 4-1, they'd then be 4-2. There's a possibility they have a tie later on when they play against Kick later in the day. We'll have to...
So again, the Trundle gets locked in. I get it, I understand it, but then you leave the Sett up for grabs and things such as the Varus or the Aphelios, which are two really contestable ADCs right now. It of course depends which one decides to play this time. Oh, sorry, my bad. The Varus is banned out, so the second best choice will be the Aphelios, snatched away. Immobile ADC, you might say. Mobile player, I'll tell you.
He's got the fancy footwork, that's for sure, but we gotta see what Schalke opt for on the other side. Since it is a Trundle, there's gonna be something that could be able to catch out JaVaaa a little bit easier, especially if you're able to utilize that pillar. With a Thresh on top of SirNukesAlot, it will make it so that they're gonna be able to try as hard as they might to make it so JaVaaa cannot escape.
Yeah, and you take away the Thresh from the Aphelios as well, which is a great combo to play down the bot lane. You pair it with the Misfortune, another immobile ADC. Scary stuff, especially since the Sett has been locked in for beansu right there, and he does tend to sort of take a peek on the back lines of enemy teams. If he gets locked in here, this is one of the 2 months ago classic, I would say, but they're gonna go with hard engage. I like that.
I prefer
very
that
decisive, very we want to play in your face from Movistar.
That's what I wanted to see more over than the Yuumi Aphelios lane. It feels like you're kind of giving up going up against Misfortune Thresh, letting them have the early game. This more is a statement saying we're going to contest the level 2 power spike, see who's going to be able to come out ahead first. You're going to get a lot of poke from Aphelios, but also a good dredge line landing onto Neon, especially at level 2, is not going to be something that can get disengaged by nukes.
Also, by the way, I was so excited to see Lurox coming in, and then they first picked the Trundle, and I'm like, okay, fine. We'll take the bullet for yet another game. Now, of course, it is going to be Eloya's jungle pool that's going to be taking a hit right here. Of course, locking in that AD top side. You could be expecting to see some AP juggler coming out from Eloya, so they're going to take the Karthus away. Potentially, we might see the Elise band as well, which we haven't necessarily seen much in the tournament. You think it's underrated? I feel like if you want to make a statement in the top side, you take the Elise and you dive over and over.
if you can get that to happen, that is always the big thing for me.
True.
If you can't get that, then you fall off so heavily with that, at least. And this is why we don't tend to see it too often. It's been something that has been more of like a third, fourth string kind of jungler. More the Gragas, Lee Sins, even Graves are higher priority just because you have other elements to your kit that you can always fall back to. But Ivern for Eloya, unless it's like... So there was rumors a long time ago of the Ivern top lane. I don't think that that's going to happen here. I'd expect beansu to stay on Sett, but Ivern's not something I expected to be picked today.
Quick stat check. I don't see it played at all for him in the Superliga Orange or in his solo queue because yes, I have my eyes over there as well. So I'm very excited to see. That sort of indicates for me that they're going to go for yet another carry in the mid lane that could potentially be something like the likes of Corki, or you can go with something like Tristana or the Lucian. So whoever uses the shield, it makes a big impact.
I do like this Ivern pick. The more I look at it, the more I actually enjoy it because JaVaaa was a monster last game, and since you have Nautilus, something that's trying to engage, you need to put someone to peel for JaVaaa. Let him be able to carry you in that mid and late game team fights. Xico can carry, of course, on a Cassiopeia if that's what they want to go for, but JaVaaa was a monster last game. Let him ride hide. Rely on him to be able to be your guide.
And I'm just trying to find a way, a good... Oh my god, this is becoming even harder. I was trying to find a good scenario where Sleeping Renekton finds a way onto the backline with a Shurima shuffle, the root from Ivern, all the roots and the stuns coming in from the Nautilus, and of course you also have the Sett who can basically just pick up the crocodile and just dunk him back onto his own team backline. It's just going to be so hard to reach that Aphelios. So I am leaving it all up to Lurox to find these early game kills and quick movement around the map. Proactivity, I think is the name of the game for Schalke, and they need to get ahead early.
I completely agree with you on that one. You look at their composition, Misfortune, Thresh, a lot of early game damage that they're going to be able to provide. If they can catch JaVaaa, great. Lurox on this Trundle against Ivern. Go for these invades. Try to see if you can push out top lane for Sleeping. Try to push out mid lane for Sertuss and constantly punish and bully around Eloya while you can.
Yeah, because that Ivern doesn't really have damage. Sure, he clears much faster because he doesn't actually have to hit the minions and kill them one by one. So the clear is faster and we might see him popping up onto a lane. Top lane would be my first guess right here to try and get that Sett ahead because it is more of a skill matchup right here. There is no tank against the Sett. There is a lot of HP gained back from a charged Q from the Renekton. So the region is there for both the top laners. You've got the setup with the stuns and the knockbacks. So I think it's going to be a rumble at the top.
I agree with you. This is where we're going to be looking at Sleeping and beansu. It's not the island anymore where you kind of forget about them and what they're trying to do.
Isn't
want
that
to get them ahead. beansu! Okay. I thought Sleeping might actually try to see if he can contest that a little bit more, but he just gave it up to beansu. Now gets a free invade, gets to put a ward down. Being able to pinpoint where Lurox is going to help out the movements of Eloya early.
And I like that, making sure that you know when Lurox is gonna move towards that top side so you can stay safe, because as you can see, Eloya is starting from his top side, so he's not necessarily going to be around when Trundle makes his way towards his blue buff and potentially trying to find a gank onto beansu.
I love this game. This game has so much
He just walked up to him!
He just walked up to beansu, doesn't even care. We're fighting already!
Wait!
Okay.
You walked up to him and you lost the trade! What is going on?
I don't know, but I wonder if they're going to continue it.
Listen, I like it, so I'd love to see this continue. Oh.
Ooh, they are going to go for a little bit more action. Sorry. I had to get some water there really quick. I got something stuck in my throat. Oh.
Don't worry, I got you. So, beansu and Sleeping, of course, the thought behind beansu was to push his wave quickly so he gets that level 2 pressure in the lane so that the Trundle cannot get that gank going, or the Renekton would lose too much CS. Now, of course, they have been pointed when Lurox on the Trundle is, so Eloya can remain safe. He's cleared all the top side. I'm expecting him. Oh,
here he is.
Lurox
was able to get scattered of the week onto Xico, had to flash over. They don't want to really commit for that dive this early. Look at the damage that Lurox took just from going under the turret for a second.
Yeah, but then again, Movistar have a Kindred, so you're not necessarily endangered of dying from a Kindred invade. So he's still fine to try and pressure to maybe get a cheeky kill right there. They didn't have to burn any summoners, although Xico is in a really bad position right now against the Syndra and being flashless.
Lurox going to be spotted out here on that ward. A good placement coming in from the side of Movistar. They were able, with those early rotations and how they were able to push out early on, they made it so that they could keep a couple tabs on Trundle. But now he's going to be unlocked, going to be a little bit safer to try to see if he can find a fight against Eloya. But unfortunately for him, there's nothing to get here. Unless they want to go for an early dive, they have to rely on a little bit more damage. Whoa, the lantern from Neon. I don't know if you wanted to actually grab that. You took a lot of damage. The fight coming in, you flayed him back towards Neon. Barely doesn't tick down to the ignite. Lurox a little bit late to the party. Only going to stay around to make sure that Neon doesn't die.
Okay, that's a lot of summoners burned, and remember that we've seen a lot of early game fights around the dragon. So now neither of these carries down the bot lane are gonna have any of the summoners left, and add Xico into the equation, who doesn't have a flash either. So I'm thinking right here, if I'm Schalke, I'm gonna force that dragon, since it's easy for them to get priority down bot lane, and try to take it for free. If Movistar want to try and set a foot in there, they might die.
beansu had to flash. Here's the flash from sleeping. That's gonna be first blood solo kill for the Renekton.
Sleeping is like, you walked up to me, I'll show you who's the boss, Mr. Boss. Takes down beansu on a solo 1v1, and now Xico.
No mana either for Xico. Trying to escape from this one. The comes in from Lurox. Got a lot of damage with Thresh to the attack to be able to pick up the kill. The TP, a little bit too late from beansu. They're instead going to try to see if they can chase on to Trundle. He's pretty fast, but he has help from sleeping on the other side. They could always turn this around. They have the damage that is necessary and a level lead for this Renekton, getting a lot of damage on beansu. Here comes the TP in from Xico, trying to rejoin the fight, but they're going to be able to get the root onto Lurox and then punch him down with a haymaker. But he's knocked back, scattered of the week. Second time, he's in the ground. Fighting away, sleeping, running from the battle. Doesn't want to get locked down by the root caller. Wants to see if he can dodge away, but it's a good slow coming in. Instead, it'll be Xico who takes down sleeping.
So that, all in all, I think is a 2-for-1, if I'm not mistaken. A 2-for-2, if you think that Xico died really early in all these trades. And we're going to get the mid lane fight again. Of course, we said about Xico, he doesn't have his own flash. So it's great stuff from Lurox right there to try and force a gank onto him. Try to get some kills onto himself or the Syndra. Sertuss, great slot onto beansu right there. And I'm like, what are they doing? They know that sleeping is coming from the top lane. But the Azir is coming back to life and has the teleport. And ooh, that true damage, it hurts. They are able to trade 1-for-1 though, and Xico cashing in on his first kill, which might make Syndra's life a little bit more miserable in the mid lane.
But it was after Xico had just used teleport, so had to walk all the way back, and you can see Sertuss, who had TP from the fight, was able to TP back in the lane. It's going to be able to shove out and deny a little bit of gold to Xico, make it a little bit harder to be able to scale up in this mid game, where now that you're level 6 as Syndra, you want to be able to team up with Lurox, try to see if you can set up a dive, possibly go for the spot lane dive.
Yeah, and see what we're talking about right now? There's no flashes onto the two carries from Movistar. So Schalke do have the freedom ticket to walk onto the bot side river, set down some vision, keep that bot lane safe. I don't know if it's safe enough.
Play trying to knock back rhuckz, but here comes Eloya, flashed away. Not going to be able to get the root either, and it was on to the gun that was placed down, but here comes Lurox,
there.
Trying to get the damage. The double did not connect on anybody. Good pillar though, going to be able to interrupt the escape, getting the damage on Hava. Can't get away that time. No fancy footwork going to work, but the Ignite's going to be able to get the trade back until it showed up. 2-for-1 favoring Schalke.
Oh, and let's see who the kills went to, because I'm pretty sure one of them went to Thresh on the other side. It also went to the Nautilus, so it is Schalke coming out ahead from this one. Sertuss had previously pushed in his wave, so he's not going to lose on any. If any, I think he lost 1 minion in the mid lane, so it's pretty worth it for him. Cashes in on 3 of these assists, and he's back in time to take his wave as well.
I love watching
Bird
Group C.
versus Crocodile. Who wins?
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure crocodiles beat birds, right? Or is it like one of those things where, you know, you see some birds live, have like a cohabitation with birds, and the birds will eat all like the parasites that can grow on a crocodile? Maybe that's what this is.
Ah, possibly. Never thought of that one.
That's what I kind of see, but I'd expect the crocodile at any moment could always eat the bird. But we get a look at the spot lane play. It was started off by SirNukesAlot getting caught out, but it's all waiting until Lurox can actually show up.
Oh, that's alright. That was also very class for that sentence to land. Lurox and Sertuss are already making the way down bot side, and of course you need to ping these roams coming in. Movistar had already been too committed to that play to turn it back around, so they try to get as much as they can.
But in the bot lane, it is still a kill that was onto Neon, so he's going to feel a little bit stronger into JaVaaa. Last game that JaVaaa played against Misfortune, he was able to stay relatively even against that champion. But now that it's a kill lead BF sword and double longsword, he has to play further back. He has to play a lot safer on Aphelios. Can't feel as empowered to step up, and that hook had landed. Probably would have been an engaged fight since Lurox and also Sertuss were on their way into the bot lane, but not close enough to be able to disengage.
Okay, we said that there was going to be a dragon fight when the carries from Movistar didn't have their flashes up and available, but right now Schalke do find that window where they have priority in every lane, and we might see the fight.
Having Daisy come in, good flash comes in from Sertuss to get away from Emperor's Divide, and Xico immediately turned onto, taking out the bird. They have the dragon too. This is Schalke continuing to win these small skirmishes.
And it is a reoccurring theme of people just walking into Ivern where they have no business.
Oh man, SirNukesAlot had to go golden to be able to survive. Bullet time, trying to zone away, does so much damage to rhuckz early on. rhuckz did not connect on the SirNukesAlot. It's going to be a couple of flashes, a couple of heals here and there, but nobody dies in the bot lane.
Ooh, I love this. It's action all over the place. Both the bot lanes really have the hooks going right there. If SirNukesAlot is not going to hit it, rhuckz is going to hit it. You just have to be very aware of who might be coming behind. And Sett is right here. Great play. He ults Xico first to make sure that the spheres remain around him, getting a very easy scatter the weak, which keeps him safe. Capitalize onto the kill. They're like, thank you for the dragon, and thank you for the kill.
There's also a great flash from Sertuss. I love that. Emperor's Divide briefly got the knockup, but immediately flashed over it to be on the proper side, to utilize the spheres, like you said, to then kill Xico. This is Sertuss playing this champion very well, and Syndra is something that you've seen a couple times, especially in the meta where you're able to flex Syndra into bot lane or into mid lane, depending on your preference. It works very well when you're trying to roam and control zones. This is what Sertuss has liked to play in the past. Think of the LeBlanc, Zoe's, playing more of a control mage. It works really well still with that style.
And you can see here that the Thresh roam kind of indicates that there might be a swap, but it was just to take control over topside for Rift Herald. Neon didn't really have to do anything other than sit underneath his tower, and Eloya wasted so much time down the bot side to try and possibly get a pick on Neon that Lurox and Schalke get a Rift Herald for free.
This is what we want to see of Lurox. Look at this. How many ganks is this so far onto Xico? I think that's like the 4th one. We're 11 minutes into the game. Xico will be able to get out of that one pretty easily, but this is the early game jungle that you expect out of Lurox. Trying to play aggressively. Doesn't matter if it's Trundle, someone who is perfectly comfortable with scaling. He's still piloting it as though he needs to fight early.
True, and he's making it work. He's 2, 1, and 3. He's finding the openings, he's finding the ganks, he's finding all these summoners, and he's utilizing every single time he's covered a lane or taken a summoner, he's come back to capitalize onto it. And at this point, beansu is almost half-life up the top lane, so they're gonna make sure they take the tower down low enough to pop the Shelly and take that top lane tier.
Look at the vision control from Schalke as well. This mini-map, you can see. They have already set this play up long in advance, so that way they could rotate their bot lane to mid lane, then bring Sertuss into the top lane, then pop Shelly into the top lane so they get first turret. It's clinical. This macro, the paint by numbers League of Legends that some people talk about, it was beautiful from Schalke.
Yeah, and it looks like Lurox is really working for them. His voice, his calls, everything, his aggression early game, the way he controls the map and the rivers, it all has fallen into place for Schalke, and they truly look like the #1 team in this group. Movistar, of course, they're not out of it yet, because JaVaaa and rhuckz might be looking for a cheeky anchor there in the face.
They want to get NukesAlot. I think you'd prefer Neon, but he's being smart, staying away from the brushes, saying, nope, not today, Lantern. Are you going to be able to interrupt it? Nope, too late.
Oh.
You tried. Okay. You got to throw it out once you see Neon rotating towards that. You got to get...
What, is it F for effort?
It's like, it was a good effort. I'm going to say, like, it was a...
Yeah, F for effort.
No, it begins
like
with an
F
E.
for the word. Yeah, but it's like F for effort.
But
So
it begins with an
like
E, not an F.
Yeah, but it has double F in the word. It can work, because you say effort. The first thing that you think of is an F. Never mind, I'm just rambling right now.
Going back onto what's happening, though. Right now, it's going to be sleeping. Try to take away this red buff, since they do have control on the top half of this map. They got tier 1 before. It allows sleeping to take away a lot of the jungle from Eloya. It's Ivern. You're not going to be able to fight against a crocodile. You have to forfeit that, which is just unfortunate. You're falling further behind. You're going to eventually be that support who tries to keep your carries alive, but giving up this gold over to Sleeping, who's punishing and bullying around beansu, makes it so now you feel like you have to play topside, which gives up control around Dragon.
I don't know who's pushing and pulling in the top side, but beansu had to forfeit that aggressive build that you usually see coming out of Sett, and he's going to be the true tank for his team here, having the backup of Eloya with the utility as well. Then again, Schalke, they don't even have to sneak these dragons, they just take them due to prior everywhere on the map. They slowly but surely are choking Movistar away from that river, and when this is happening, you start losing vision, you start losing agency on the map, your towers are going down, and this is it, will not be safe to farm anymore without towers remaining outside of the race.
This looks like Movistar that we saw against Kick last week, where they fell behind massively early on. They struggled to be able to contend around these objectives. Look at the gold lead. It's nearly 5,000 for Schalke at this point, similar to last time that they had this exact scenario. They are not comfortable. They're not sure where they want to be able to send people, and now they've all been spotted out in this bot lane, trying to set up a death rush.
Yeah, Eloya is getting picked over and over again. They're like, what is he doing there again? He's been trying to get that bot lane gank over and over because they do have the setup with the Nautilus and the Aphelios, trying to get that ADC ahead, but it hasn't been working out for them. Schalke is too clever and they're not falling into the trap. Even though if NukesAlot got that hook, maybe he would have fallen into the trap.
I'd hope he wouldn't, because you know Ivern's bot lane.
You take these.
But maybe you think that he's left. Maybe you think he's left by now. You're like, there's no way he's still there.
No way he spent 3 minutes down there. No way.
He's still there. Go home. Go.
Definitely not. No, definitely not 3 minutes down there for Eloya.
Oh, yeah, just get out of here. It's not working. Come on. Well, he finally is going to recall, and it is going to be Schalke backing off, saying, you know, we're not even going to test it, we're not even going to bother going near the turret, we don't know where you are anymore. Instead, they're going to be able to rotate NukesAlot into the mid lane, try to play around Lurox, who's really controlled this mid lane, and Sertuss as well, has priority constantly against Azir, always being able to clear out these minion waves before Azir. This is why, for a long time, Syndra was considered one of the top control mages. How well she is able to push these waves and then rotate on the map quickly allows them to set up dives like they might do.
beansu. Oh, beansu.
All right, Redemption, you're going to be able to heal up. He does a lot of damage back with the Haymaker. He's trying to see if the Showstopper will be able to get a 1v4. He does at least get one kill. The turret will fall, but it's a valiant effort from the top laner.
That is why he's on my illegal list, Magical. Take notes, because that stuff right there is nasty. He tanks 4 people, but I do also believe that Schalke pulled the trigger a little bit too early.
Agreed.
Before Sertuss was around to put down the unleashed power and seal the deal, so they do end up losing the support. Nevertheless, they don't lose pressure anywhere else on the map. Mid lane is there and pushed. The Crocodile has to, of course, back off and respect the fact that he might be getting dived as well. But look at that. Sertuss is so far away. There wasn't even a wave underneath the tower for Schalke at this point. Lurox tanks way too much. And Sertuss wasn't even there yet. So, someone has to pay the price. Unfortunately, for Schalke, it was NukesAlot. But they do get the tower, and they do get the kill. And crucially, onto the Syndra, which I want to say, I do love me a Syndra with Luden's Echo. No more of that GLP stuff. Get that pop, get those skills, get that extra minion wave clear, and get hella dodge because that Azir hurts.
I thought they were gonna send Neon out there. It probably was one more hit away, but instead they peel off.
He was trying.
They were trying, but they were too afraid. They were too afraid of Xico, saying, "All right, this Azir can hurt." Instead, they're gonna peel off for the second Rift Herald of the game, wanting to maybe force a fight around this. They have quite the lead against Movistar, who have already gotten beansu in the area. So, at the moment, it's going to be a disadvantageous situation for Schalke.
The Crocodile does have the teleport, does he need to come in? And you see how rhuckz, who's meant to be a frontline for Movistar, he's meant to be a tank. He takes a chunk out of his HP, Sertuss that is, with his sphere. So you can't really frontline. And Schalke, they don't have to take unnecessary fights. Lurox again gets the call down right there. It's like, it's not worth it, guys. We can just back off. We have, like you said, the lead right here. Once we get that mid lane tower, which is going to remove so much vision from Movistar, we can start moving into the river and move our vision deeper into their jungle.
Playing it clean, never going for an uncalculated risk. They want to make sure that it's always on their playbook, where they're the ones dictating what Movistar can do. Immediately, they're able to turn into the mid lane because they see what's about to spawn. Another dragon, putting them one closer to that Cloud Soul, which might not be the best of the souls to have. It's still better than not having it at all.
It's so clean. It's surgically clean. They push top tower. They force the Azir TP to clean that wave, meaning that now they're free to take the dragon. Because Azir cannot join the fight, so Schalke, does a fight break out, they have the men advantage. That is great stuff coming in from the first seed of the Prime League.
Eloya, though, not one to just lie down quietly, is going to try to take away Rift Herald. Has the help of Xico near.
Yeah, with the Azir, you can't take his neutral objectives quite quickly. He's not there yet. Oh! Baron takes the glory away. They were like, we almost traded that for something that could have resulted in a tower for Movistar, which they still don't really have any. And that's unfortunate for them. But you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta try that last minute, Charlie, right there.
Exactly. You gotta try what you can. Unfortunately, just didn't pay off for them, but it will be Schalke still retaining control on the map, still being firmly able to walk around wherever they want to, feeling confident playing into Movistar. But Movistar, I feel like, still have elements they can work around. They have a good scaling comp, utilizing this Ivern to be able to help support JaVaaa, who was a monster last game. It might not be the Varus like it was before, but this is a champion who does well in these mid-game team fights.
Oh, absolutely. They have the Aphelios and the Azir. And right now, there are not any crucial fights that are going down for Schalke. They're taking it really slow and methodical. And remember, at some point, that Renekton is going to fall off. And oh boy, big boy Sett, that's when he comes online. So, Movistar are nowhere near out of this yet. They're using the two strong champions around the map to try and get some towers, and that's exactly what they do. Rinse and repeat until you close down that goal difference.
That's going to be hard to do. Even though they've been able to stop and pretty much control the bleeding, it's still bled out beforehand. They still have a massive gold lead, but a gold deficit behind Schalke. They need to be able to get back into this game where they can hopefully find a pick run someone like Sertuss, who's pushed pretty far, and it's Syndra, someone immobile that they can blow up quickly. But if they can't find something like that soon, Baron is there on the table, and Schalke could always force a fight around it.
And Sertuss has been playing this game so slow and methodically. Neon, though, might want to take his chances 2v1. This is still an Infinity Edge Aphelios. You gotta sort of respect the burst damage coming out of him. He still has his both summoners as well. Moving back to Sertuss, I think he's been playing this game really flawlessly so far. He's farming up his items. He knows that he is going to be hurting towards that late game because both the Ivern and the Sett could be a target to look for to try and save your misfortune from the Sett. So all you gotta do is just slowly... Sertuss is my needless lad's rod after needless lad's rod. You remember the old good Syndra build? Yeah, forget it. This is only needless lad's rods for this man this time.
Just going straight damage. Looking over on the other side, there are a couple tanks, you know. beansu actually going for the tank Sett build, not going for the Blade of the Ruin King build, since the only real tank that you're worried about dealing with would be Lurox, and it wouldn't really work out. You instead want to be able to join your team. Movistar are committed to this team fight, front to back, where they're going to be able to 5-man stack, have beansu and rhuckz be the engage tool, while Eloya helps peel for the problem with that is Schalke don't seem to want to set that up. They don't really actually care about that. They have the split push duty out of sleeping, who's going to be able to 1v1 this Sett tank. Then you have Lurox on the other side, who's going to be able to take away any resistances built up by them when they jump into a team fight.
Yeah, problem is I don't think sleeping can 1v1 anymore, but they can 3v4.
Flash, there it is. I was waiting for him to flash over the wall. TP used by beansu means that they can play around that on the side of Schalke, force Movistar now into a situation where it's going to be a 4v5 because sleeping held onto the TP.
See, usually you would see this play out of Schalke if Dragon was about to spawn. This is why I'm a little bit weirded out as in why they pull the trigger. I think it was because they did find Eloya in the jungle and they're like, if we take him out right here, this could also mean Baron for us. Forget the Cloud Soul coming up. So it was a step that they had to take. They do blow the flash from Eloya, so next fight, he could potentially be susceptible to dying.
It is going to be Eloya securing red buff. Neon wanted to take that away. And I am looking towards that next fight. Like you said, getting the flash out of an Ivern is going to be really nice for the team. But the big thing to me is still, getting a flash out of Neon might actually help you out. But I got to look back to the TP that beansu's lost. He is forced to stay around the team, and that could make it so that Movistar are always going to be pinched in these fights.
I do actually like it more that way when beansu is in the fight, because if Sleeping finds a sliver of room, he is gonna take it to try and run Movistar down and their backline. So with beansu there to try and protect and prevent this from happening with his ultimate, I think it's a much better play.
The jump onto Lurox, it's hard to kill him. beansu into the backline, but he's only a tank. He's getting burned down. Haymaker to give him massive shield to be able to survive. Look at what he did to the backline of Schalke just with one ability.
And you're wondering why he's on my list, Methodical. That was a proper pure 1v4 right there. I think it was the Infernum coming in from the Aphelios as well. Sertuss though, coming back in.
Double TP used. They've set this up. They're looking for the flank. They get so much damage onto Rhuckz. He has to get the heal, but they're going to be able to burn him down with this dragon still on the board. They pull back in beansu. Haymaker barely going to be able to go off, but they get the kill for Sertuss regardless. Xico trying to chase down Neon, saying, you are one of the carries. If I can get rid of you, there's a possibility we can go back into this fight, but it's having a difficult time keeping up, and a good blast cone will keep Neon alive. Everyone shows up. A killing spree for Schalke with the dragon soul on top.
And it looked like a great fight, honestly, starting from Movistar. But Schalke and Sertuss has not died a single time this game, sir. He's playing this flawlessly. And teams in EU Masters, take notes. You don't need to take unnecessary chances in unnecessary fights. They lose so much HP that what do? They pull out of it because they do still have vision in the pit and around, and they pull their TPs back in and they flank. That is flawless play coming in from Schalke. Look at this back and forth all the time. They work with picks. Xico right there, he puts everything on that misfortune chase, and in the end it's like, okay, I'll just blast cone, see you later.
That blast cone from Neon is beautiful. It is the perfect escape that knocks him right into the waiting arms of Sertuss. Oh, I love this angle.
Outclassed,
outplayed. Schalke getting the Cloud Dragon Soul are going to be able to rotate around this map so much quicker than Movistar are going to be able to deal with. They have to play around this Baron, but they find themselves 8,000 gold in the hole, and Eloya getting a little bit confident, trying to push out, but they have no control around that top half of the map.
Nope, they don't, and it's not the jungle anymore. Magical doesn't belong to them anymore, and they're gonna have to face check. And who of them is going to face check? Because beansu is all the way up top trying to fend off the Syndra, so he cannot be the one face checking, or he's gonna lose possibly a tower. The Nautilus is not tanky enough yet, so Schalke can be pulling the same play over and over again until Movistar react, and then they can turn the fight around.
Movistar are going to try to interrupt this Baron. It is going to be a tall task to ask of them. The Spanish League want to get retribution against Germany. Last time we saw this was back in the European Masters in summer, where Germany, Berlin National Gaming, took down Vodafone Giants. You would love it if you were able to deny that first seed from Spain to the DACH region, but right now they can't. They're struggling to be able to fight back around Baron.
That's huge. That is instant Baron right here from Schalke, because the Crocodile managed to get the Azir ulti in the bot side. Azir without an ultimate is so hard, and sleeping is just forcing him.
Oh my god! He just goes into the base while Eloya dies at Baron. This is it. Schalke easily going to be able to secure this objective. It's going to be a Hail Mary play from Movistar if they wanted to contest that. It wouldn't work out. But Schalke, they're going back strong, and they want to get that first seed.
This is so clean. Coming in from Schalke. Come on, Sleeping. Don't ruin it. As I said, it's clean.
He ruined it. Shut down JaVaaa. He gets taken down pretty quick. It's a rampage out of Sertuss. He gets revenge for his crocodile friend. Will be able to also get rhuckz too. Only beansu alive. It will be Eloya and Xico respawning. But as the minions are marching in down mid.
You know what? We'll let him go this time because he was zoning away Xico. Without his ultimate, the Azir cannot really play the game in a team fight, especially on a 1v1 versus a Renekton, where you want to keep him at arm's length because you don't want him anywhere near you with that big... What is that thing he has? Like an axe? It's not an axe. What is that?
Oh, I always forget what it's
scythe?
called. No.
No, it's not a scythe.
It's that circular, like, blade, the curved blade. I forget what it's called right now. I used to know what it was. Why can't I remember this? It's a cool blade, that's all I know.
It's a cool blade, and you know what? You don't want it anywhere near you if you're an Azir. This is what we need to take away from this.
I agree. And you'd asked me before who wins between a bird and a crocodile. The answer is crocodile, of course.
That crocodile!
Gonna be able to snap the claws and the jaws down onto the bird. And unfortunately for Movistar, they're having a hard scimitar! No, that's not it. It's not a scimitar. The scimitar is like a sword still. This one has, like, grasp. Maybe it's a glaive. I think it might be glaive. So our producer is telling us this. I think it's glaive.
We're getting all the juice in you. Everyone out there knowing what to call that thing that Renekton holds in his hand, but it's not a sword, and it's not a scythe.
We'll answer that later. We got more important things here, Trouble. Like, the game might be over for Movistar. They are at their bases. Only inhibitor turrets remain for them, and they have little ways to be able to fight back against Schalke.
Okay, at this point, I think it's time for Schalke to pull the trigger. The 12,000 gold in the lead right here. I'm pretty sure they can pull dives if they so wish to do so. They're still trying to play the slow, methodical, to the T play, the strategy, everything, but come on. You're 12,000 gold in the lead at the moment. Just take the game already.
They've opened up mid lane, looking to see if they can get enough damage on a beansu. He does get shields from Eloya, but him and Xico have to go back home, back to the fountain to be able to heal up, which means every single lane is now on the docket and going to be taken down by Schalke almost at the exact same time.
Oh, beansu?
Beansu, this is that Hail Mary play I talked about. You gotta go for something. Couldn't find anything. And Lurox finds JaVaaa. Bullet time going to rain down. Only gonna be able to get a little bit of damage on a Daisy as Beansu trying to see if he can kite around, get on top of NukesAlot. But Sertuss has gotten the rotation a little bit too late. They already lost the support. Neon taking a lot of damage. Beansu has to flash over the wall, but it's gonna be the kill and unstoppable Sertuss. Sleeping, dodging away from Xico, trying to escape, but everyone else is jumping in onto Lurox, trying to see if they can take down that Trundle. It is not working out for them. He is too tanky at the moment. Sure, they got one kill onto the support, but they only are delaying the inevitable.
Oh, and I just wish I would have seen the Syndra trying to push that last Nexus tower instead of joining his team on that fight. He was only there to actually last hit beansu, who had a sliver of health, but most importantly, the Elder Dragon has spawned. They're
Hail Mary, let's go!
They still want it!
They are trying anything. They are throwing it all at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's down to 50%. They gotta be able to burn it. Lurox might be able to get in there for the steal. It's down so close, but Xico's blown up before. They are gonna be able to secure the Elder Dragon, but they have to survive. Flashes left and right to just get away, but the chase is there. Great scatter the weak bullet time combo annihilates Movistar. They can't get out of this one. Only Eloya is in the fight, and he is all for naught. Everyone else gonna march it right down the base, and it's gonna be Schalke securing themselves.
Pure domination right here, coming in from the first seed of the Sertuss. What? Wait, what? Okay, he's just taking a stroll. Slowly but surely, he's gonna find his way to beansu. I think at this point they're just toying.
They're trying to, but beansu, unfortunately, dies immediately upon impact, and is going to be game for Schalke. They want the #1 seed in Group C.
And I think it was very well deserved as well. That looked very clean, very methodical. Almost too clean to the point where you're like, since you're that far ahead, you might as well play a little bit more aggressive, try your luck out there. But I guess when there is an Azir and there is an Aphelios on the other side, you don't want to give them any chances. After all, it is the second seed right now of the group, so leaving them a little bit of space, giving them a finger, what they say, they're gonna take your entire arm.
Yeah, sorry about the internet issues, guys. Trying to get that all sorted out.
Oh, you're looking good.
That's me all fancy and fancy, you know. But with that game, it's gonna be Schalke rising up to try to take #1 seed in Group C. We're going to toss it off to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to break down that game and talk about Schalke's victory.
Magic.
Vous comprenez maintenant pourquoi j'ai créé la Magic? En un clip, vous devenez Magic.
La monture avec ces 2 clips pour 149 €.
C'est Magic.
Dispositif médical.
This is my creed. The boots that make me faster. The items that make me stronger. The potions that I drink. I get the best to be more powerful, so my champion rises to the top. But all this leveling up means nothing if I don't level up myself. It's the healthy potions I drink in real life that make me stronger. Because you can only rule the game when you realize you are your most important champion. To play like a pro, eat like a pro.
Time for a true display of skill.
My axe is ready. Witness true strength.
A gift from me to you.
Another soul lost.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Hello, welcome back in. We have to talk about that last game. Schalke No Fear Evolution was able to take down Movistar Riders pretty convincingly, if I do say so, after Movistar had a great victory against Kick.
You know what, that kind of reminded me of like the LCK and how slow and methodical they play there. They always weigh the situations and the fights they're gonna go in, and Schalke played so clean in this game. I would honestly be scared to face them in the quarterfinals. Every single lane did what they needed to do, with an exception of the bot lane where they were taking some very dodgy trades, but they never ended up going down or getting caught. This was a surgically clean game by Schalke. They were playing their fights front to back. They were pulling away when they had to. They were engaging when they had to. And I have a little bit of a complaint at the end because I'm like, come on, you're like 12k ahead. Just play, just brute force your way in. But I'm not complaining. If you want to be clean to the end, you can be clean to the end.
And they go now to number 1 in Group C. They're going to be very confident that they're going to be able to at least get out of the group. They're not quite there, because when we're looking at this, Schalke is guaranteed to at least have a tiebreaker for quarterfinals. One more win for them in Game 5 guarantees them for...
Yeah, and then Movistar are gonna have to fight it tooth and nail with Kick on the next games to come. Sorry guys, these are some issues we have to deal with the remote production. Internet sometimes goes down. That is the reality of the issue right there. But we're gonna toss it over to Quickshot and Celtic Tiger to bring you the last few games and potentially maybe a tiebreaker, so stay tuned.